Okay, I have another absolutely amazing law of attraction story for you. This one is one of my favorites. I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it. So I was over at my ex-weed dealer's house, and he and I always had interesting conversations, go figure. And he had a book called Prometheus Rising. I know that's the name of a movie now too, but this was a book. And he said, "Do you want to read this with me?" And I thought, sure, why not? Because there was something in it that he really, really liked and really wanted me to read. So we decided at least to go through the first chapter. I think we were planning on reading the whole book, but we only got the first chapter. So in the first chapter, the first chapter was called "What the Seeker Seeks, the Prover Will Prove." The whole point of this is what you are looking for, you will find. And even when two people have opposing viewpoints, you believe something differently than I believe it, we will both find a way to prove that it's true. The example that he was giving in the book was metaphysical versus actual versus reality, quote unquote reality, whatever reality is, right? Whatever most people have agreed that reality is. So he said, let's do an exercise. The book said, let's do an exercise. It said, I want you to imagine a quarter, right? So my guy is telling me this, and we were going to do the exercise. We were really going to go through the exercise. So he said, imagine a quarter. Imagine the universe giving you a quarter. You believe that the universe is going to give you a quarter. And I was like, okay, interesting. Just imagine the universe is going to give you a quarter. And then after you find the quarter, because you will, imagine there's just quarters everywhere. Of course I'm going to find a quarter. So we'll just call him Mr. C, is actually imagining finding a quarter, right? I'm not imagining that. I was imagining finding a $50 bill. Chris is imagining finding a quarter. As he's coming up to the end of the chapter, and both he and I scanned the floor, both of us scanned the floor as soon as it said, imagine the universe sending you a quarter. We both scanned the floor. We both looked. As he was coming up to the end of the chapter, he stopped while he was reading mid-sentence and looked down and picked up his foot, and there was a freaking quarter under his foot. And he looked at me and he goes, "Did you put that there?" And I had been watching him, right? He was just pacing back and forth in the room. I was watching him, and he did not drop that quarter. I would have heard it. I would have heard him drop the quarter. A quarter seemingly appeared in the middle of the room. You can call me crazy. You can not believe me if you want, but I freaking swear this really happened. And he told me that it felt cold. It didn't even feel room temperature. When he stepped on it, he said it felt cold. Okay, let's just be honest here, you guys. We don't understand reality. We have no idea how this shit works. We really don't. We just don't. It's true. You know it. I know it. Like, you might not know it as much as I know it yet, though. And it's because I've done a lot of psychedelics. So I've seen a lot of stuff and I've experienced a lot of things. And trust me, reality is fucking wild. It's very wild. So, okay, so Chris found a quarter, right? I didn't find a quarter because I wasn't thinking about a quarter. The next day comes around. I'm not there anymore. The next day rolls around. Chris texts me. Oh, should I have said his name? Mr. C sends me a picture. Mr. C sends me a picture of, he went to the airport. I don't remember where he was going. And he sat down in an airport chair and turned and looked next to him. And on the seat next to him was a bunch of change. As in, the second thing we were supposed to do was imagine there's just change everywhere. And he sees a quarter, a nickel, I think a penny, and a dime or something. I don't know what he saw, but there was a quarter there. I saw the picture. I thought that was fascinating, okay? I thought that was absolutely fascinating. This happened one day, a quarter seems to appear in the middle of the room, unless he dropped it there, but I think I would have heard it and I was watching him. So I really, really, truly believe that happened. And second, the next day, he found a bunch of change. Okay, so exactly what we had just read in this book the day before, what the seeker seeks, the prover will prove. He really was running that exercise through his head. The exercise I was running through my head was a little bit different though. I had decided I was going to find a $50 bill and I was going to give it away. And I'm thinking I was going to give it to a homeless person or something like that. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen, but I was just imagining finding a $50 bill and giving it away. Well, a couple days go by for me. I don't remember exactly how long it was, maybe a few. It was while he was still on his vacation though, so I remember texting him and telling him about this while he was still on his vacation. So I know this girl that at the time was in quite a bit of debt, I believe. She just wasn't making any money, and I took her to the casino in Tampa. I took her to the casino and I said, let's go play poker. And she goes, I don't have any money. And I said, I know. I said, let's go play poker. So we go over there and I buy both of us in. And we sit down to play and I go out fast. I mean, I bet hard when I play poker. If I think I got it, I will bet hard. And as soon as I go to get up to leave a table, she starts to get up too. And I was like, no. I was like, stay. I was like, take your time. I said, I'm not in a hurry. So she stays, and I go over and I'm waiting kind of by the door, playing around on my phone. I'm really not in a hurry. I don't really care. And I don't know how much longer later, she gets up and she comes over and she hands me her stack of chips. I don't know how much it is, but she just hands it to me. I told her I was buying her in, so I wasn't even planning on her giving me the money back. So she hands me these chips, and I take them to the cashier's cage, and when I hand them the chips, every single time I've ever been to the cashier's cage, they have always given me back the highest number. So typically, if it was $100 worth of change, they would have given me a $100 bill. But this time, without asking me what I wanted for change, this lady pushes two 50s towards me. I had bought both of us in at $50, and I lost my money. And she won 50. I don't even think about this yet until I go to hand this girl half of it, which was $50. And then I look down at the $50 I had in my hand, and I realized I didn't lose any money because I got my 50 back from her, and then I handed her $50, and it was like I had created $50 out of nowhere and gave it away. I got goosebumps. I thought that was so cool, and I told her about that after as soon as I handed her that $50 bill while it was exchanging hands. I thought, that's the 50 that I was imagining from the book. Tell me that is not an awesome story. I think it's an awesome story. I ended up texting my guy and I was like, yo, it's like, you will never believe what happened. And he texted me back and he was like, that was smart. Imagining a 50 instead of a quarter. He was like, that was really smart. I was like, you know what? I thought so too. Anyway, I love that story. Thought that was really fun and really had to share that with y'all. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Think about what you want. I'm going to keep drilling this point in. Think about what you want. Focus on your new reality. Focus on your new reality because it's there. It's there. You have to see it in your mind first, and then it will shape around you. Take care. I love you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.